Shall I let them in now?
Yes, thank you.
Just them telling us that's gonna take a week.
Good afternoon and welcome to docket number 24-1201, which is Pura's consideration of the application of Yankee Gas Services Company doing business as Eversource Energy to amend its rate schedules. My name is Chairman Marissa Gillette. I'm joined virtually today by my colleague, Commissioner David Arconti. We are here this afternoon for a public comment hearing in this matter. It is our third public comment hearing in this matter. Our third and final. After today, we will continue to receive public comment in writing by emailing Pura's executive secretary at pura.executivesecretary@ct.gov. And just have a couple of opening announcements, particularly for those of you who may be joining Pura for the first time. So this afternoon, we are going to turn it over in just a moment to representatives of Eversource Energy, who are going to provide a brief presentation regarding what they are asking through their application regarding their rate amendment. The purpose of this presentation is so that everyone in the public has an opportunity to see a snapshot of their request. I do want to remind folks, particularly if this is your first time participating in the Pura process, that a rate case application is adjudicated by Pura over the course of 350 days. So we are a couple of months into this process. Gathering public comment on the application is one of those steps in the process, and we are working toward evidentiary hearings in this matter, which is where myself and my colleagues and our staff and other parties to the proceeding, including the Office of Consumer Counsel, will have the opportunity to cross-examine the company regarding its application. So the purpose of gathering public comment through opportunities such as this one are so that Pura can prepare for those evidentiary hearings. Because of that, I do need to remind folks that we are here to receive comment. This is not a forum to answer any questions. Particularly Pura is not in the position of answering any questions today. You can think of myself and my colleagues as folks that will be adjudicating this matter. So we are here to receive information and use it to prepare for those hearings. And I want to thank you in advance for participating. If you do know that you wish to provide public comment, you can enter the queue at any time by using the raise hand function, which is under the reactions tab at the bottom of the screen. I will turn to that queue immediately following the company's presentation. We do ask that you provide that comment verbally, and you will need to identify yourself for the record. We have a court reporter with us today whom will transcribe those comments for the record so that my colleagues and I can reflect on it as we prepare. So at this time, I'll invite representatives of the company to the virtual stage to provide that brief presentation, and then we will turn to the queue for public comment. Let's see. Okay, I see Mr. Kelly. Am I turning the floor over to you, sir?
Thank you very much. Before we get started, just wanted to introduce myself. Excuse me. My name is Kevin Kelly. I am the president of the gas business here at Eversource Energy, and I just want to thank Chairman Gillette and commissioners for putting this together, and also thank the public for taking the time to go through this public hearing with us. I believe somebody, thank you, is going to share the presentation. Great, thank you so much. We can go to the next slide, please. So to kind of ground who we are and what we do, we are the largest natural gas distribution utility in Connecticut. We serve roughly over 250,000 customers in 85 communities. And through our network, throughout the state of Connecticut, we roughly have about 3,500 miles of gas main. Just a quick note, since 2018, since our last rate case, we've replaced about 200 miles of aged cast iron in what we call bare steel wrought iron pipe across many parts of the state of Connecticut. Next slide, please. So investments to improve safety, reliability, and resiliency. You'll hear me talk quite a bit about that through this presentation. And again, it really is our focus here at Eversource Gas. We want to make sure that we provide the most reliable, safest service. And we've been investing many dollars over the last several years to improve our system, to make sure that it's safe for the public, make sure it's safe for our customers, and certainly make sure that we are here to provide emergency response, customer connections, and reliability throughout our network systems. Next slide, please. So it all starts with safety. And for Eversource Gas, we've invested a lot of time and effort into our pipeline safety management system, which is really part of the federal recommended practice of API 1173. And we've invested, like I said, a lot of time working with third-party folks to come in and audit our plan. But through the day and through the year, we do a lot of inspections of our crews, the work quality, our internal crews, our external crews. We make sure that we designed our systems above or exceed minimum requirements, both at the state and federal level. We perform enhanced leak surveys throughout the year, specifically in the wintertime, to ensure the safety of our system. We go well above state and federal guidelines to, again, ensure the public safety. We also make sure that we have timely processes in place for our mapping to ensure that our facilities are up to date, so that when we go out and mark out our facilities for other third-party contractors and our employees, we make sure that we understand where our facilities are, we mark them accurately, and work with the community to ensure public safety. We also, as part of our pipeline safety program, I mentioned this, we bring in a third party to do an audit on us each and every year to ensure that we are moving in the right direction to bring safety to our employees and the public. Next slide, please. So some examples of investments that we've made over the years. And since 2018, we've replaced roughly about 200 miles of pipe, which when you look at that in bare steel and cast iron, which is what we deem leak-prone pipe, we've reduced our leaks by over 52% through our accelerated replacement program, which we term as ARP. Next slide. These are just some examples and some pictures of the work that we do out in the communities. Again, we're replacing pipe each and every year. This is an example of roughly about 6 miles of pipe we're replacing in the Waterbury area, but I do want to really mention that over across the entire state of Connecticut and our service territory, we roughly do about 40 miles of replacement of leak-prone pipe. And this pipe, it varies in age of installation, but it's as early as the early 1900s all the way through 1940s, 1960s. So again, we've taken an active approach at reducing our risk, making sure that, again, our first priority is the safety of the public, our employees, and our customers. Next slide, please. So an example of the investments that we've made over the years, and one in particular that I'd like to just take a minute and talk about. Hopefully many of you remember the incident that occurred on I-95 where we had a tanker fire, which was right underneath a bridge. In that bridge, we have a major line feeding on both sides. If we did not do these investments, or if we did not engineer the system to kind of identify these risks, we would have lost many customers in the Norwalk Stamford area. I'm talking probably a 7 to 10 day restoration based on the amount of customers that we had. But through the investments that we've made over the years, we were able to look at our system. We were able to have feeds on both sides. We were able to reroute pressure of gas through the critical parts of our system to avoid any customer outage whatsoever. And we were able to work with the state in terms of cutting that gas main off and replacing that bridge. So again, the investments that we've made really paid off in this situation. To the right is a picture of a regulator station that we've made investments. And if you look at the top picture, you'll notice that that's a single feed not a lot of equipment there. We've replaced that, and an example of that is the picture below that with a dual run system to make sure that we deliver safe, reliable service to our customers. It provides redundancy in supply and certainly makes it a safer place for our employees to work each and every day in those reg station pits that are out on service territory, excuse me. Next slide, please. So with all that effort, one of the things that we often think about is greenhouse gas emissions. Since 2014 is really when we ramped up our replacement program. We've reduced our total leaks, which the byproduct of that is obviously reducing our emissions. And as you can see through the years, we dramatically decreased our leak. And this is our total leaks. And then you look at our emissions based on the replacement of leak-prone pipe. We reduced our emissions since 2014. Next slide, please. So why is a distribution rate adjustment needed? So again, we've invested over $1.2 million in capital investment since 2018, and we are looking for 209 in revenue deficiency. And if you break that down, it's 153 million of infrastructure investments, which I talked about since 2018, the O&M cost of 47 million, and then other cost of 9 million, which makes up the 209 million dollars that we're looking for. Next slide, please. Okay, so how will the rate adjustment impact customers? And this is very important to us in making sure that we explain this in a way that hopefully our customers can understand and certainly understand. We have invested a lot of money over last several years from our last rate case, and we understand the impact that this has. It's roughly about a 38% increase for the average residential customer, which, if again, and it's an example that could mean a $45 increase in your bill on November 1st, 2025. We are in part of our rate cases. We are requesting a performance-based rate, which is an agreement between Pure and the company to hold us to certain performance metrics, and certainly make sure that we have transparency and accountability of the way that we operate each and every day. It's important for us to make sure that our customers believe in our investments and believe in how we operate our companies. Certainly make sure that we provide safe and reliable service. So this is one way that we are interested in working with Pure and coming up with some metrics that we certainly will hold ourselves accountable, and we should, and making sure that we're, again, bringing customer satisfaction and engagement and achieving our clean air goals, as well as, again, I've mentioned several times, the safety and reliability of our system. Next slide, please. One of the things that is part of this rate case is we've introduced a network geothermal solution to our customers, and we had our first project we did in Framingham, Massachusetts. It was the first of a kind. Geothermal has been around for several years, but this was unique in a way that we built a network geothermal system where we were able to build infrastructure in a neighborhood and allow customers to pull off one single source of geothermal through a pump house and various boreholes. It was very, very successful, very proud of this project. It was up and running and went through its first winter, and we got a lot of great feedback from our customers about the efficiency of the system, as well as the customer service that we provided to our customers. So again, very, very proud of this project, and certainly would be interested in talking to the state of Connecticut about introducing a network geothermal system. Next slide, please. So with all of the rate adjustments, and we certainly definitely understand the impact there, we've requested a discount rate that we currently offer on the electric side to be in consideration as part of this case. We've also have other options to meet customers' unique circumstances, and these are some of the programs that are out there and available to folks to take advantage of them. And we certainly would like folks to take advantage of them. They're there to help folks, and we certainly will be a partner in making sure that we give you the best solution and work with you on your energy bills. So thank you. Next slide, please. And that's, thank you. So that's the end of my presentation. I appreciate the time. And thank you, Chairman Gillette, for giving me the time to go through that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly. So we will turn now to receiving comment from members of the public. I see one hand up. Again, if you missed the first couple of minutes of this meeting, I want to invite folks to enter the queue by using the raise hand function at the bottom of the screen, which is under the React tab. I will take folks in order. Again, while Pura is not able to answer questions today, we are here specifically to hear from you, so it can help us as we prepare for the hearings. So the first individual that I saw registered was Kendall Keelan, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, commissioners. My name is Kendall Keelan, and I'm an attorney speaking on behalf of Conservation Law Foundation. CLF is a regional environmental nonprofit with offices in all 6 New England states. We are an intervener in this rate case and have filed written comments on behalf of CLF and other public interest organizations around the state. CLF and other organizations are concerned that Eversource is seeking recovery for investments that are inconsistent with the state's binding climate targets under the Global Warming Solutions Act. Increases proposed here would raise rates substantially, nearly $50 per month for the average residential customer, while making virtually no progress towards decarbonizing the building sector in line with state climate law. Natural gas is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions in Connecticut. It accounts for 40% of residential emissions and over 75% of commercial emissions. And emissions have only increased over the past several decades. Natural gas accounts for 34% of the state's overall greenhouse gas emissions in the residential and commercial sectors, which comes only second to transportation. Sharp emissions reductions are necessary to meet the state's 2030 and 2050 climate targets. DEEP has identified electrification as the key pathway to decarbonizing buildings, which means that gas use must decline in the near future. The company is not taking the actions needed for a managed transition away from gas in line with the state's climate targets. This is a lack of real planning for the energy transition, and it makes imprudent investments likely, and it risks creating inequitable outcomes. Substantial changes are needed to plan for a managed and equitable transition away from gas. We urge PURA to not authorize recovery for capital investments unless the company demonstrates that they have adequately considered non-pipeline alternatives, and such alternatives were found to be non-viable or cost prohibitive. We also urge PURA to consider that the company's continued investment in new pipelines also raises significant equity concerns. The last customers left on the gas system are likely to be low-income residents and renters who cannot easily electrify, and in many cases, these customers are already burdened by high energy costs and can least afford to pay more. PURA should direct the company to develop multiple targeted electrification projects, which may include a network geothermal pilot, for further evaluation of cost and emission reduction potential. CLF believes that this warrants regulatory scrutiny and an opportunity for robust stakeholder engagement in a separate contested proceeding. And lastly, CLF urges PURA to consider initiating a future of gas docket to ensure a smooth and well-managed transition to clean heat that does not impose disproportionate costs on renters, low-income households, and others who remain on the gas system the longest. A planning docket is also necessary to determine how much additional investment in the gas distribution system is prudent to ensure a safe and reliable system as demand declines. Pushing for a planning docket is a broad and well-established need, as supported by the Office of Consumer Counsel, PURA's Office of Education, Outreach, and Enforcement, Yankee Gas or Eversource, and other environmental advocates that have all pushed for this as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. We will go to the next person in the queue. And I did see Karen Brown unmute a couple of times. I think maybe you're having trouble finding your hand. So if you want to go next, I'll then continue in the queue.
Hi, I'm Karen Brown. I'm actually a consumer, so I'm a client of Eversource. One of the key things is I would like to have as part of the investigations associated to this is in reporting from Eversource of last year, you achieved record profits of over $812 million that you got through obviously your electricity and your gas supplies. I would like to really understand from a pure perspective in regards to this investigation, how much of that investment is actually being applied into this, requiring with regards to the monies of which you are seeking from your consumers, basically your client base. I think having record, and it's been reported, record profits in 2024 means to me that then when you are then looking at this capital investment that you are wanting to make, I think the cost of what coming back to your customers and asking for more money, I think is the biggest impact that generally, as I've been speaking to many of my friends and colleagues who are Eversource customers, is a big issue for us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that comment. The next individual in the queue is Diane Burr.
Hi, I'm a consumer. My name is Diane Boer, and I live down in New London. Okay. And I've got to be honest, I am extremely angry with Eversource because, as Ms. Brown alluded to, you guys made record profits last year. What are you doing with them? If you're giving them to your CEO, that needs to stop and stop today. You are a public utility. I think you all need to go revisit what the words public and utility means. That means you serve the public. You provide us with a needed service that we have nowhere else to go and get. Okay. And yeah, your presentation was lovely fluff piece. You know what? You place pipe, you're supposed to do that. We give you money to do that. In fact, I pay more in fees than I pay in the gas that I use every single month. Okay. And and same with electricity. I pay more in fees than I use. I keep getting emails from you people. Oh, reduce your electric bill, reduce your gas bill, save here, save there. Well, I can reduce what I use, but that does not affect my bill significantly. You know what affects my bill significantly? Projects like this, where you want to increase my gas bill by $50 a month for the rest of, the time that I own my house. That is ridiculous. And that needs to stop and stop now. We, the people, say no. No more increases. We pay more in public utilities. What are we? We're like second in the nation with our public utilities expenses. That again is ridiculous. So you guys need to pay attention and become a public utility and serve the people, not serve your stockholders, not serve your CEO, not serve your profits. You need to take in more money than what we spend on, the gas and electric. I get that for upgrades and everything, but right now you're taking in plenty. Use what you got. I want to see forensic accounting of those profits last year. I want to know where every penny went. Okay. And there are a lot of people like me who are extremely angry. Go on Facebook and go look around at community forums. People are angry, and we cannot afford yet another rate hike from a greedy company and a greedy CEO. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that comment. It's been entered into the record. The next individual in the queue is Evelyn Leck.
Hi, good afternoon. I represent, just the local business here in Southington, but I'm also a resident of the town of Southington. And, I'd like to join the previous speakers on the matter of the raises, the constant raises. Like, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I think that we're constantly getting hit with all these extra additional fees and, a little bit here, a little bit there. At the end of the day, it all adds up, right? And, the bill that basically got raised to like 50% increase. I mean, not for nothing, but I feel like you guys have almost monopolized the entire game in the state of Connecticut. There's really no other competition for you for electricity. I mean, as far as gas goes, sure, there's a couple other options, but not for Southington. So with that being said, I disagree with the constant increases on the bill, yes, there have been some upgrades, but 38% raise, I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous and out of control. Like that is something that needs to stop as well. And I do agree with others, right? And the constant addition, like the delivery fees, the public benefit. I mean, who are we paying all these charges for? Seriously, like who can literally afford these crazy rates? I mean, that at some point needs to stop. And just like others have mentioned here before, right? Like you guys have made so much money. So again, the question is, where is that money going? Who's realistically getting all these bonuses? Because, we don't live in the state of Florida. We don't get tornadoes, we don't get crazy hurricanes where, there's a lot of repair that needs to happen. Sure, the infrastructure, according to your presentation that we've all seen today earlier, I mean, sure, you've made some improvements, but a 38% increase. I mean, again, I disagree with that, and this is just ridiculous. Thank you.
Thank you. The next individual in the queue is Camille Thomas.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Camille Thomas. I am a resident and consumer who lives in Hartford, Connecticut. I just do want to throw in a little caveat. I also am a part of NAG under the docket 240907. Just want to throw that out there. As a consumer, things are getting very hard. The current climate that we're in with the present administration, the tariffs, the impending recession, now is not the time to increase any rates. Eversource has done a great job, and the slides were really nice as well. I think one thing that should be added is, as several other commentators mentioned, is the revenues, because it's a little misleading that you're stating that you're in the hole for doing capital improvements, but there's a substantial and outstanding salaries being expended as of 2024. There seems to be something within the business that needs to be adjusted, and I do not believe that consumers should be responsible for the salaries or the increased salaries, the substantial salaries of the employees of Eversource. So to wrap this up, consumers are strained. We cannot afford any more. The market is volatile. We do not know what's going to happen tomorrow, 2 days from now, a month from now, and we can't afford it. China has imposed 104% tariffs on us, and the stock markets are going up and down. People are losing their retirements. We don't know how much an avocado is going to cost. We don't know if we can afford avocados. We can't afford eggs. And so as a public utility, we're hoping that you will maintain the best interest of the public and not increase prices. Thank you.
Thank you. The next individual in the queue is Craig Vallone.
Hi, yes, I'm a consumer in Wallingford, and I did a computation of the new rates that are proposed compared to the old rates. And in the letter dated January 28th from Eversource, that was addressed to consumers, in the middle paragraph,
Mr. Vallone, I apologize. I lost audio.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Where should I pick up?
You referenced the letter and then said in the middle paragraph, I believe.
Oh, okay. So in the middle paragraph, it says, how will the proposed rate adjustment affect you? It says there'll be an increase of approximately 49% within the delivery portion of the bill, or 24% within the total bill. So I did a computation on using my most recent gas bill, and I'm in residential rate structure R02, and my delivery portion is going to go up 117%. And my overall gas bill is actually going to go up 40%. So I just wanted to point out that either the white letter on January 28th is understating the effect, or the green accompanying rate schedules are not correct, because I cannot come up with the 49% increase in delivery portion on my bill, or 24% of the total bill. I'm going to be affected much harder. So I just wanted to point that out. And that's all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your comment. Peter Millman, please.
Hi, thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I've read the Conservation Law Foundation's testimony, and it's excellent. And arguably the most important part of that letter has to do with asking PURA to consider opening a future of gas docket for Connecticut. I have a hard time understanding how PURA can really evaluate the validity of some of the charges being put forth in this rate request without having a larger plan to compare it to. I don't know, maybe there are other mechanisms for doing that, but I think Connecticut needs a plan for what it's going to do with its gas system, how to evaluate how, are the gas companies doing enough consideration of non-pipeline alternatives? Are they considering enough options for targeted electrification? We need a plan. And I'd just like to close by reading something that I think OCC stated, that the company's filings do not reflect a reasonable understanding of the energy transition's implications for prudent management of the company, its business model, and its capital planning. I think that's a real indictment of this rate request and Eversource. And the solution is to start a future of gas docket. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Are there other members of the public who would like to register a comment this afternoon? Again, you can do so by locating the raise hand function, which is under the reactions tab at the bottom of the screen. Diana Mikulak.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Okay, I am a consumer and I'm from Central Connecticut, still to be exact, and my entire house is gas. So I have been a gas consumer for quite a long time. I have a problem with the percentage of this increase. As any business model would have, I'm sure Eversource has worked in maintenance plans into their already sustained business model. I'm sure they've also worked in a development plan. So I want to know where the additional developments are. How are we now having this substantial rate increase, almost 40%, to take care of the infrastructures that supposedly have or should have been taken care of already or part of the business plan. Now, I agree that prices are increasing all over the place. But Eversource, again, as been stated before, has said that they have record profits. So it's not aligning with what they're trying to do. And if it is aligning, it's not made evident to the public. As a consumer, we are very stretched as far as finances go because we're getting hit from all avenues, as anyone could tell you. But a 40% increase is not acceptable. And I think perhaps Eversource needs to revisit some of the things that they are doing or planning to do. Perhaps they need to scale back some of what their plans are if they need a 40% increase to our rates in order to accomplish them.
Thank you so much for that comment. Are there any other individuals who would like to register comment this afternoon? If not, I want to thank everyone for their attendance and attention this afternoon. This was our third public comment hearing, and we appreciate everyone's involvement in all three of those hearings. Again, the authority will continue to accept public comment in writing following today's hearing. If you did not speak this afternoon and wish to do so, you can provide public comment by email. By directing that email to Pura, P-U-R-A, period, executive secretary at ct.gov. Please reference the Yankee rate application in the subject. The next step in this proceeding, as I mentioned at the top of the hour, was that Pura will move into evidentiary hearings where our staff and commissioners have the opportunity to hear testimony from the company and cross-examination on the matter. Those hearings begin on May 29th at 10 a.m. and are broadcast on Pura's YouTube channel. So again, I want to thank everybody for participating this afternoon. We have registered the public comment as part of our transcript, and the commissioners will take that into consideration when reaching a decision in this matter, which will happen later this year, I believe in October. So thank you, and we are adjourned.